Who is Odysseus? Really? The man behind the myth. They call him Cunning Odysseus, and it sounds almost like a compliment, a nod to his sharp mind. But that's the polite version of the truth, the sanitized one. Strip away the heroic reputation and look closely, really closely, at what he actually does across the story, and you find something far more unsettling than a clever hero. A con artist, a manipulator, a man who lied without hesitation to everyone he claimed to love, and, when it suited his purpose, a cold and ruthless killer. Today we're going to talk about the dark side of Greece's smartest hero, the side the legends tend to quietly gloss over, because the real Odysseus is far more complicated, far more morally tangled, and honestly far more disturbing than the noble hero you think you know. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. So why is this one man both endlessly beloved and genuinely dangerous, admired and feared in equal measure across 3,000 years? The answer lies in a single trait, the one thing that sets him completely apart from every other hero in Greek myth. Let's start there. Think about the other heroes of Greek legend. Achilles was famous for raw strength and rage, an unstoppable force on the battlefield. Heracles was known for his impossible physical feats, his sheer overwhelming muscle. They won through power, through being stronger than anything in their path. Odysseus was different, fundamentally, completely different. His weapon was never his body, it was his mind. Consider the proof. The entire Greek army, with all its warriors and all its might and its greatest champions, couldn't take the city of Troy by force in 10 long years of siege. 10 years, and Odysseus brought those legendary walls down in a single night with nothing but one clever idea: the wooden horse. That's who he is at his core. He is history's first true anti-hero, the character who solves with intelligence and deception what brute strength never could. And if you look at the movies you watch today, you'll see his shadow absolutely everywhere. Every clever trickster, every con man with an elaborate plan, every quiet strategist who outsmarts the powerful and the strong. They are all, in a very real sense, the descendants of Odysseus. He invented that entire archetype 3,000 years ago, and we've been retelling it ever since. But that same genius carries a heavy price, and it's a dark one. Odysseus lies, constantly, compulsively. It's not an occasional tactic he reaches for in a crisis. It's the very core of who he is, woven into his character. He invents false names on the spot without hesitation. He spins elaborate, detailed fake life stories to strangers as easily as breathing. He disguises himself again and again to fool his enemies and even, at times, his own friends. And here's the truly unsettling part. In the myth, even on his long-awaited homecoming, the emotional heart of the entire story, the reunion he suffered 20 years for, he lies to nearly everyone. He lies to his own wife, who has waited 20 faithful years for him, testing her before revealing himself. He lies to his son. He lies to his most loyal servant, an old man who never once stopped believing his king would return. For Odysseus, the truth is never something sacred. It's simply a tool, to be picked up or thrown away depending entirely on what he needs in the moment. That's what makes him one of the most fascinating heroes ever written, but also one you could never, ever fully trust. And then, at the story's climax, it turns genuinely bloody. When Odysseus finally returns home after 20 years, he finds his palace overrun with suitors, dozens of men who have spent years trying to steal his wife, his kingdom, and his throne. He does not forgive them. He does not negotiate with them, or exile them, or simply reclaim what's rightfully his and send them away. He kills them. Every single one, methodically, one by one, in a hall he has deliberately sealed so none can escape. And it doesn't stop with the suitors. The servants in his house who had sided with them, who had been disloyal during his long absence, them too. By some readings of the myth, this isn't clean justice at all. It's a massacre, an act of overwhelming, disproportionate vengeance. And what makes it truly chilling is how he does it. Not in a sudden blind rage, which we might forgive, But with cold, careful, patient planning, he disguises himself, studies his enemies, waits for the perfect moment, sets the trap, and springs it without a shred of mercy. A hero? Perhaps by the standards of his brutal age, but when the dust finally settles and the whole falls silent, his hands are anything but clean. This is the same cleverness that won the war, turned now toward slaughter. So here's the real question. Knowing all of this, the constant lies, the manipulation, the cold-blooded bloodshed, why do we still see Odysseus as a hero? Why has he endured, beloved, for 3,000 years, when by any honest accounting, he's deeply flawed? Because, more than almost any figure in all of myth, Odysseus represents our most fundamental human instinct, the sheer will to survive. He isn't perfect, and that's exactly the point of him. He's afraid, genuinely, openly afraid, many times over. He weeps. He makes terrible mistakes that cost the lives of his own loyal men. He loses everything a person can lose, his ships, his entire crew, his youth, 20 irreplaceable years of his one life. But he never ever gives up. For 2 full decades, stripped of everything he had, he keeps crawling, fighting, scheming toward one single goal: home. His flaws don't push us away from him. They pull us closer because they make him recognizable. They make him like us. None of us are Achilles or Heracles, but all of us know what it is to be afraid and keep going anyway. And maybe that's the truest definition of heroism the myth has to offer. Not being flawless, not being pure or noble, but continuing anyway, standing back up every single time you're knocked down. So who is Odysseus, really? A genius, a liar, and a killer, all at once, all bound up in the same single man, impossible to cleanly separate from one another. And maybe that very contradiction is exactly why we've been telling his story for 3,000 years and still can't quite look away from him. He isn't a simple hero, and he was never meant to be. So what do you think? Is he a true hero, or just someone who happened to be very, very good at surviving by any means necessary? Be honest with me in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you land. And if you want to see the monsters he faced on that long, cursed road home, the giants, the witches, the sea itself, that video is right there on screen. Subscribe and don't miss it, because this story only gets stranger from here.